Silver and gold have changed massively over this last 18 months, and I'm not just talking about prices. The rhetoric, the reasons why people buy, the messages that people see, read and hear online have changed drastically, and not always for the good. Today I want to talk about why I think some of the changes that we've seen in silver investing, collecting and stacking put some people at risk and also line the pockets of others that influence and sell. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's Precious Metal Ramble, where I want to talk about the changing face of silver and gold, collecting, investing, stacking, whichever of those three categories fits you best. Some might be more than one. There has definitely been a change over this last 18 months to 2 years. And even more so when you look back 5 years, 10 years past, there has definitely been this rhetoric shift, this now YouTube crazy world of silver. I mean, I was in the sort of second wave almost of silver tubers that came up and started talking about silver and pouring their own silver way back in 2017. And back then, things were great. The heyday was upon us with the price of silver being so low. You could get silver, back when I started stacking in 2016, you could get silver for £11 an ounce. Even less somewhere on certain forums and places like that. It was dirt cheap. Now, of course, we're in this world, post-COVID world of supply chain interruptions and, of course, premiums. And there has been this shift in rhetoric as well, which I've noticed, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think it's a secret that a lot of you out there know that I am not a fan of the idea of economic collapses happening anytime soon and silver shooting the moon. I have talked at length about that subject and why I do not think that that is a likely scenario to happen. I buy my silver to protect the value of my currency over a long-term period. I do not expect silver to grow exponentially over a short term and make me rich. There are no such things in this world as easy money. You do have to work for a lot of the profits that you have, and that is certainly the case for physical gold and silver. And that message is something which is a little bit lacking of late, I notice. Certainly in the sort of resurgence, or I say insurgence, I should say, the surging up of new messages about silver and gold and how amazing they are and how wonderful it is to own hundreds or thousands of ounces of this stuff because it's going to be very much worth it to hold. They take precedence over this long-term view sometimes, and you get people who might want to buy an awful lot of silver all in one go, and I have always been more of a proponent of slow and steady purchases over time being the way forward for any precious metal purchase, and it's certainly the case for a lot of the silver and gold that we see out there at this time with the high premiums. You do need to have very careful forward planning about what the right type of silver is for you, right type of gold is for you, whether it's as cheap as chips gold over spot price or whether it is the premium silver to hold on for a long time. There is no doubt in my mind that silver and gold will be beneficial to hold in that long-term period, but how beneficial is going to be relative to one's own individual circumstances. If you are fantastic and you want to hold it for a very long time, some people are on the track that they will never sell their silver and gold, which is baffling to me when people pour hundreds and thousands of dollars into an asset, an investment, and they just flat out say, that is it, I will never sell this stuff. It is, there for me forever. It's just metal. It just sits there. It doesn't do anything. It is fundamentally a useless thing to have sat in your safe or in your desk or just on your kitchen table, wherever it might be. It doesn't do anything for you until it's needed. And I don't feel like those scenarios where we're going to want to have silver as a barter exchange tool will be needed. I am much more of a proponent where I think the silver and gold that you have will transport your wealth throughout a financial crisis and devaluation of your currency to the other side, where you will be protected and you'll have at least some of your wealth there at the other side. But this rhetoric that comes out, I think, is sort of symptomatic of this new world that we live in, this last decade, this 2010 to 2020. I have seen a huge fundamental shift in the world, just social media. We all know social media has grown exponentially over this last decade, and you just got to look at the opportunities that are out there for just everyday people like myself. I mean, goodness me, if somebody had told me 5 years ago that I would have a YouTube channel with 35,000 subscribers talking about silver and gold on a regular basis and earning AdSense revenue from that process, I'm not going to lie, it's not small amounts of money. You can get decent sums of cash from small YouTube channels. All you need is a couple of videos to go pretty parabolic, tens of thousands, 20,000, 50, 100,000 views. You can earn yourself a decent little sum of cash to add onto any income that you might have. And that has certainly caught on for an awful lot of people. We see back when I got started in silver making videos back in late 2016, early 2017, there were certainly not as many video makers out there talking about silver and gold. I started following a lot that were doing lots about poured silver, and I started pouring my own silver. 2018 comes along, and you still got quite a lot of people who are doing the same old of talking about their poured silver and stuff, but you're starting to see a few more channels come up who people are inspired by those other people that are creating videos. 2019 rolls along, and you're starting to see even more people making videos, starting up new channels, which is great, and I love it, and it is fantastic to see all of these new channels. Then, of course, 2020 comes along, and everybody is stuck at home through lockdowns, looking for new hobbies, looking for new things. And, of course, silver and gold are one of those huge things that we can talk about in an economic crisis like a massive lockdown, like a global pandemic and lockdown. And it's just taken off. It's absolutely parabolically mad. And this social media wave of influencers and people who have, for want of a better word, they have agendas because they are sponsored, they are promoting affiliate bonus codes and all of this. It just goes parabolic, and it actually can earn an awful lot of cash. And when I say an awful lot of cash, I'm talking thousands and tens of thousands of dollars worth. There are definitely incentives out there for people to say certain things about silver and gold. And I personally do not like the rhetoric that we are now in, where you have this mantra of buy now, if you don't buy now, you're stupid, or if you're not buying this kind of stuff now, you're stupid. If you're not buying gold, if you're buying gold right now and you're not buying silver, that's the wrong decision to make. You are not worthy of our attention, or you're ridiculed for doing so. I think that this rhetoric is so dangerous, so toxic, so horrible, that it is not sensible. And unfortunately, that has spilled into, and spoiled. So I guess it's spoiled over into the everyday precious metal buying market. And for me, as a stacker investor of silver and gold, I've been buying silver and gold since 2015. So, 6 years now. Certainly, I've noticed this last 18 months the premiums be unreasonably high for bullion grade silver. When you're buying premium products like poured silver or collectible numismatics and things like that, premiums are premiums. They are there. They have always been there. They always will be there for the extra work, effort, and time. But when you're buying bullion grade pieces of silver or gold, I just cannot think to myself that it's a good deal to be paying, certainly here in the UK, 40-50% premium on a bullion grade piece of silver. Certainly that is not a good idea. Gold holds king for me. And my own personal experiences definitely has been since pretty much the end of 2020, where the Brexit sort of split happened. That was the last piece of kind of big bullion grade investment silver for my long-term pension stack that I bought from a dealer. Since then, I've bought a few little pieces on places like the Silver Forum, where I've seen bars come up at really cheap prices that I would be willing to pay at. But generally speaking, my silver price point purchase, it's not where I want it to be, and for that reason, it's like the Dragon's Den. For that reason, I'm out. And I have made a video saying I'm out of silver, for sort of that long-term stacking investment. To a certain extent, I got a lot of silver when I started, but gold is most certainly the way forward for me and for a lot of other people now, and that's the lessons learned. Now, in terms of the rhetoric of that, there is this rhetoric of buy everything now, buy it now. It's the best thing to buy since sliced bread, and the silver raid days and things like that, which I think are a bunch of absolute waste of time garbage. You're just basically promoting the fact that you're going to go and buy on a particular given day because of reasons, and the dealers out there are just going to sit back and go, well, okay, right, well, on this particular weekend we're going to have a silver sale, and we're just going to pump our prices up and then make it look like you're getting a good deal. And that's sadly what happens. And you get, of course, then all of the different promoting sites like those on Reddit and others are here on YouTube and Instagram or wherever it might be, going and saying, right, well, it's Silver Raid Day, let's go and buy from this dealer. Here's a link with an affiliate code, and you're getting a lot of kickback for it. That's the problem that I see. That's the problem. It's the pushing of a rhetoric for an agenda. But beyond that agenda becomes this second agenda where you would just be ridiculed if you sell. Now, anybody in their right mind needs to, certainly when investing in physical precious metals, have the idea of how you're going to get out of this investment at the end of it. And for so many people now, they're just ignoring that because they're hearing and seeing all of these things talked about on different platforms about how silver is going to go up and up and up at some point, and it's worth holding on to. And it doesn't matter if you paid $45 for your silver eagles 3 months ago, because they're going to be worth thousands of dollars at some point in the future. And people just don't bother and don't think about how actually they might need to sell this stuff. And so that means at the end of the day, they're left with one option, really, if they're in a pinch and they need to sell it. And that's selling it back to dealers for pittance of what they paid for it. Silver, and to a certain extent gold with various different, I've got some gold premium coins out here, but anything with a premium, and that includes silver right now, because let's be honest, silver has a premium, you need to sell it smart. You need to work smart, not hard. And that is one of the biggest problems that I can foresee for a lot of people over the coming, well, to be honest, years. There are going to be people who are going to be hard up on their silver for a long time, and if they do have to sell quickly, they're going to be stung real hard. And I guarantee you that in about 6 months to a year's time, when silver's gone down even more, when gold has gone down even more, with the recovery and the opening up of the world's economies once again post-COVID, we are going to see a lot of people hard up for what they need to do in the rest of their lives. If you've pumped in $50,000 worth or £50,000 worth of your own cash into silver because you've read online or you've heard online that it's going to go parabolic, and then you need to buy a house, or you need to buy a car, or you just want to move on with your life, or you have a child and you realise that having a child is actually quite an expensive thing to do, then, you're going to need that cash, you're going to need that money perhaps. And a lot of people don't necessarily forward plan with those things in mind. So for me, I am not a fan of this changing face of metals. It's not really affecting me because my core values and reactions to investing in this stuff are still the same. I think that there is still room for growth for silver, so I'm not cashing out on all of my different bullion silver investments. But what I have been doing is looking at those silver investments and converting some of them into gold. So selling the odd little bit of silver here and there to fuel the next purchases of gold, which would most certainly be, in my opinion, the better long-term strategy. It's certainly a lot more liquid. I've talked about that before in the past as well, how, bullion grade gold, like this 50 gold pesos, you can buy it, we've got it here, bought from the Silver Forum, £1,511, which was actually under spot price at the time. It was a quick sale needed from the seller. Right now that has really gone up in price quite significantly. So I could sell this right now, get my money out, and it's really easy to sell. Goodness me, spot price gold will go like that on any social media platform. Dealers will often offer, it's hard to say, often offer a little bit over spot, maybe 1%, 2% over spot for certain coins at the moment, because they need the stock, they need the demand. So it's an interesting world that we live in. It's certainly one which I'm keeping an eye on from my own sort of perspective as to what is right in terms of my financial circumstances. But I do feel that there's a sort of moral kind of shift that's happened out there, and this rhetoric that has changed, that I want to at least put my other side of the argument to. I could be wrong, and there's a good chance I would be wrong in the future. Of course, there's all potential for silver and gold to be doing wonderful things in a complete economic collapse. But I'm just not a subscriber to that happening. It's just not something that's on my radar. But, you know, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong and I'm protected, and you will be protected too. But protecting yourself in the event that those things don't happen is also just equally as important. And ultimately, that's what we're all here to do: protect our wealth, to preserve our wealth, to make sure that we've got some of this cash to use in the future, whether it's silver that we can use as bartering, or silver and gold that we can change into whatever currency it is at the other end of an economic crisis that we need to actually live off. You know, there are so many different reasons for it, and ultimately, you know, we're on the same team. I've talked about this before. We're all on the same team, not to be ridiculed at each other for our differings of opinion. And I think that's pretty much me out for this video. It's a little bit of a rant as well, but I definitely have noticed it, and I've noticed it growing as well, especially when you see silver prices go down. That's the oxymoron of this whole thing, isn't it? You know, the people who are pumping, the people who are saying silver's going to go parabolic, we're going to get X, Y, and Z price point within a couple of days and weeks, and then it doesn't happen and silver goes down. They blame the powers that be. They say it's being manipulated down, it's being tamped down. Now is a buying opportunity. Now's the time to buy up the truck. Oh, look, here's my affiliate code once again. See, it's a cycle. It's just a circle of pump, and sadly, the only people who are earning from this are those that are promoting it and the dealers that are selling it, period. There are absolutely no gains to be had for those short-term people putting thousands of dollars into silver. They might be gains for them in the future, but it's going to take an awful long time. But right now, the people who are getting those affiliate bonus codes are raking it in, and it's a sad fact of the matter. But anyway, look, that's my rant, that's my rave, that's my opinion on the changing face of the silver and gold markets right now. The changing rhetorics that we're seeing and hearing out there do concern me, and I'd love to know if they concern you too. So please do feel free to comment down in this video. It would be great to hear from you, and make sure you hit a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the content that we're making too. Otherwise, that is it for me today. A massive thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.